The shocking archaeological discovery in Egypt has changed the course of human history. Ancient mysteries have always been a puzzle for modern humans. They continue to captivate public interest, perhaps because no one can fully explain how or why these mysteries still exist. Particularly in Egypt, the ancient and mysterious land, archaeologists have made many unique and fascinating discoveries, from the mysteries of millennia-old mummies to ancient animal fossils and even perplexing artifacts. All these discoveries clearly show that Egypt is an incredibly enigmatic land, rich with the distant past of humanity, and it needs to be explored further in the future. In this video, let's explore the archaeological discoveries in Egypt to further support the assumptions mentioned earlier. The priceless treasure in a 4,500-year-old tomb. On April 23, 2024, archaeologists announced that they had discovered an ancient Egyptian tomb dating back over 4,000 years in the Saqqara Cemetery, located about 20 miles south of Cairo. The tomb, carved into the rock, opens up valuable insights into the history of the area. This discovery was confirmed by Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities through close collaboration between Egyptian and Japanese archaeologists. According to Nozomu Kawai, head of the Japanese research team, the tomb dates from approximately 2649 to 2150 BCE during the Third Dynasty. Remarkably, the tomb contained a variety of artifacts and tombs from different historical periods, ranging from the Second Dynasty, 2890 to 2686 BCE, to the 18th Dynasty, 1500 to 1295 BCE. This provides invaluable information about ancient Egyptian burial rituals, beliefs, and daily life. One of the other impressive discoveries was the skeleton of a person buried with a vibrantly colored mask. Additionally, the tomb also contained a coffin from the 18th dynasty, which housed a perfectly preserved alabaster jar. 2 terracotta statues were also found depicting the goddess Isis, a symbol of motherhood and protection in ancient Egyptian religion, and Harpocrates, the god of children during the Ptolemaic period. Along with these statues, the archaeologists discovered a stone slab engraved with the name of a man named Heroides, along with various amulets and ostraca. Saqqara, part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, contains many pyramids, including the famous Great Pyramid of Giza, as well as smaller pyramids in Abu Sir, Dashur, and Abu Ruwaish. This new discovery at Saqqara further adds to the continuous flow of significant archaeological discoveries in Egypt, where the mysteries of the ancient civilization are slowly being uncovered. Recent excavations in areas like Saqqara and Luxor have led to a series of valuable discoveries that help shed light on the history, culture, and religion of ancient Egypt, increasing the global significance of the country in the field of archaeology. Could this be a mysterious place always hiding secrets that modern humans may have to rewrite the history of humankind? The Mummy of the Screaming Woman. Recently, archaeologists unveiled a shocking discovery related to an ancient Egyptian mummy known as the Screaming Woman. The mummy was found in Deir el-Bahari, near Luxor, Egypt, in 1935, during excavations of the tomb of Senenmut, a famous architect and official in the reign of Queen Hatshepsut. What makes this woman particularly intriguing, despite not being recorded in Egyptian history, is the painful expression on her face and her mouth agape, which likely indicates a death filled with agony. The mummy was remarkably well preserved, thanks to an exceptional embalming technique using expensive materials. Researchers used a CT scan to investigate and discovered that all of her internal organs remained intact, which is rare because, in typical ancient Egyptian mummification, the organs were removed except for the heart. This suggests that a unique preservation method was used, unlike other mummies. The scientists also found traces of juniper and frankincense resin, which are luxury products that may have been imported from the Eastern Mediterranean and East Africa to protect the body from decomposition. Regarding her death, studies show signs of post-mortem muscle contraction, which occurs when muscles tighten just before death, causing the body to stiffen. This could be a result of a sudden or painful death, such as from an attack, suicide, or drowning. The agonizing expression with her mouth open might suggest she died in extreme pain, as if screaming in despair. Researchers also noted that this is a rare and special case in the study of mummies. In addition to biological factors, archaeologists also discovered interesting details about the woman's mummification, such as a black wig made from date palm fibers and naturally dyed hair using henna and juniper. Scarab rings, symbols of protection and good luck in ancient Egyptian culture, were also found with the mummy. Although the exact cause of death cannot be determined, 2D and 3D images from the CT scans have helped scientists better understand her condition. The tomb of the daughter of an ancient Egyptian governor. A significant archaeological discovery has recently been made in Egypt, where archaeologists uncovered a 4,000-year-old tomb belonging to Idi, the daughter of a local governor who lived during the Middle Kingdom period. The tomb contains 2 nested coffins, a highly rare and impressive find. The discovery of these intact coffins not only proves their excellent preservation over thousands of years, but also provides complex inscriptions on the surface, helping us better understand how the ancient Egyptians viewed the afterlife. The woman named Idi lived during the reign of Pharaoh Senwosret Furi, around 1961 to 1917 BC, one of the prominent kings of the Middle Kingdom. She was the daughter of Jefahapi, the governor of the province of Ashut, a wealthy and powerful area at the time. Idi was certainly part of the elite class in ancient Egyptian society. However, although her tomb was plundered in antiquity, the remains of her skeleton were preserved and have provided valuable information. Researchers have determined that Idi may have died before the age of 40, and the artifacts found with her skeleton reveal that she had a congenital foot deformity, shedding light on both the biological and social aspects of her life. The larger coffin measures about 2.6 meters long, while the smaller one is 2.3 meters long. Both were finely crafted and have remained intact to this day. Additionally, archaeologists discovered the remains of the coffin lid along with small wooden statues, one of which portrays a standing woman, likely representing Idi herself. This provides insight into the burial items the ancient Egyptians used to honor and protect the deceased in their journey to the afterlife. Hieroglyphs on the coffin refer to Idi as the woman of the house, a title that reflects her respected role within her family and community. According to Egyptologist Wolfram Grajecki, the coffin and associated artifacts from Idi's tomb are among the most important discoveries, helping us better understand the beliefs, customs, and daily life of the ancient Egyptians. Ashut, where Idi's tomb was found, is a region rich in important archaeological sites that have been excavated for over 130 years. A treasure over 3,000 years old in a cemetery. In Al Ghuraifa, located 270 kilometers south of Cairo, archaeologists have discovered an ancient Egyptian cemetery dating back over 3,000 years, yielding incredibly valuable insights into the ancient civilization. This cemetery, which dates to the New Kingdom period, around 1580 to 1077 BC, was recently excavated, shedding light on the people who lived in this region, including leaders, senior officials, and priests of ancient Egypt. Among the notable finds, archaeologists uncovered several wooden coffins containing mummies from about 3,000 years ago, including a particularly remarkable one that is decorated and inscribed with the name Tadi Essa, the daughter of a high-ranking priest. This suggests the importance of her family in ancient Egyptian society. Tadi Essa may have been the daughter of a priest who worshipped the god Jehuti, also known as Thoth, an important deity in Egyptian mythology believed to have invented writing. Priests of Jehuti played a significant role in ancient Egyptian culture, and this god was often depicted as a heron or baboon. In addition to Tadi Essa's coffin, archaeologists also found another tomb containing the mummy of a woman named Nani, described as the singer of the god Jehuti. This indicates a close connection among the followers of Jehuti within the community. Other artifacts discovered in the tombs include canopic jars used to store internal organs during the mummification process, as well as funerary statues called uhabdas, placed in the tombs to assist the soul of the deceased on its journey to the afterlife. Additionally, a remarkable find was a 12 to 15 meter long papyrus scroll, well preserved, containing excerpts from the Book of the Dead, a religious text meant to help the deceased overcome challenges in the afterlife. This area, identified as belonging to the 15th nome of ancient Egypt, has been excavated since 1925. However, due to past looting, the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities has had to carry out rescue excavations since the early 2000s. The ancient 1,300-meter tunnel. Under the Taposiris Magna Temple area, west of Alexandria, Egyptian archaeologists have discovered a mysterious carved tunnel. This massive tunnel, described as a geometric marvel, is over 1,300 meters long. This site is also being studied in the search for the lost tomb of the famous Queen Cleopatra. During the excavation, they also found several ceramic jars beneath the mud layers and a rectangular limestone block. Additionally, 2 gypsum statue fragments were discovered near the temple, one of which dates back to the Ptolemaic period. Part of the tunnel is submerged in water, reinforcing the hypothesis that the foundation of the Taposiris Magna Temple is also underwater. At least 23 earthquakes struck the Egyptian coast between 320 and 1303 AD, which may explain the temple's partial collapse and submersion. The architectural design of the newly discovered tunnel resembles the magnificent Eupalinos tunnel on the Greek island of Samos, considered one of the most important technical achievements of ancient Greece and Rome. Taposiris Magna, meaning the Great Tomb of Osiris, is an ancient city founded by Pharaoh Ptolemy II around 280 to 270 BC. The temple in Taposiris Magna was dedicated to Osiris, whom the Greek rulers in Egypt worshipped. For the past 14 years, Martinez has led excavations at Taposiris Magna. Discoveries during this time have led her to become increasingly convinced that she is near the lost tomb of Queen Cleopatra VII and her lover, Mark Antony. Special mummies found in over 30 ancient tombs. On June 28, 2024, a major archaeological excavation in Aswan, the ancient city along the Nile River in Egypt, uncovered more than 30 ancient tombs, providing valuable insights into the lives and deaths of residents from the Greek-Roman period. These tombs date from the late Greek period, around 332 BCE, to the end of the Roman era, around 395 CE. This discovery is one of the most significant, helping archaeologists reconstruct the history of the bustling port city, a meeting point between North Africa and the tropical region. According to researchers, these tombs were built in multiple layers on a hill near the tomb of Aga Khan III. The tombs are divided by social class, with clear differences in layout and decoration. The highest tombs at the top of the hill were for the elite, while the middle class was buried in the lower levels. The tombs were built over a span of 900 years, from the 6th century BCE to the 2nd or 3rd century CE, covering both the Ptolemaic and Roman dynasties. Among the newly discovered tombs, archaeologists found artifacts such as coffins, papyrus, recycled cloth or papyrus materials, and clay vessels decorated with grapevine patterns, reflecting the richness and diversity of burial goods. Another remarkable finding was that many families were buried together, including parents and children. Analysis showed that a significant number of the mummies were children under the age of 2, suggesting that an epidemic or infectious disease may have heavily affected the region at the time. One particularly notable discovery involved 2 mummies thought to be a mother and child, but DNA analysis and X-ray scans revealed they were actually siblings buried with their parents. Further research into the cause of death for those in these tombs shows that anemia and infectious diseases like tuberculosis were the main causes of death, even among the elite. Doctors and researchers at Aswan University Hospital have collaborated on deeper analyses, including X-rays and CT scans, to clarify the pathological causes that may have led to the deaths of entire families in the area. Currently, the research team has mapped out at least 300 tombs within the 20,000 square meter cemetery, hoping to continue uncovering clues about how people lived, died, and how diseases affected ancient Egyptians during the Greek-Roman period. This discovery not only offers a deeper understanding of ancient Egyptian history, but also opens up new opportunities for research into medicine and diseases that may have devastated the community at that time. 16-meter papyrus scroll in a 2,000-year-old coffin. In 2023, archaeologists in Saqqara, Egypt, discovered an ancient papyrus scroll over 2,000 years old, found in a coffin near the southern area of the Step Pyramid of Djoser. This is a significant discovery that opens a window into ancient Egyptian burial traditions and religious beliefs. The scroll contains texts from the Book of the Dead, a collection of spells and rituals that the ancient Egyptians believed would help the deceased navigate the underworld and achieve eternal life. This is the first complete scroll to be found in Saqqara in over 100 years, according to Dr. Mostafa Waziri, Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities. The scroll is about 16 meters long, well preserved, and is currently being translated into Arabic. Experts believe it dates from around 712 BCE to 332 BCE, a period between the Ptolemaic dynasties. The Book of the Dead not only guided the deceased, but also provided magical spells and rituals to help them overcome challenges in the afterlife. These texts could also be used during religious ceremonies by the living to help them navigate earthly challenges. The tomb was discovered in Saqqara, one of Egypt's most famous archaeological areas, which was the burial site for pharaohs and ancient Egyptian aristocracy. The Step Pyramid of Djoser, where the scroll was found, is Egypt's first pyramid, built under Pharaoh Djoser around 2630 BCE. This discovery highlights the importance of Saqqara as a cultural and religious heritage site for ancient Egypt. Statue of a Sphinx with a unique face. On March 8, 2023, archaeologists working in southern Egypt discovered a Sphinx statue with unique facial features, including a slight smile and dimples. This discovery occurred during the excavation of an ancient temple near Dendera, about 54 kilometers north of Luxor. According to the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, this statue may depict the Roman Emperor Claudius, although experts need more time and research to confirm this information. The excavation was led by Professor Mamdouh El-Damadi, former Egyptian Minister of Antiquities and currently a professor at Ain Shams University. His team compared the face of the statue with surviving descriptions of Emperor Claudius and found it to be the best match. The statue, intricately crafted from limestone, features a slight smile and distinctive details like dimples, showcasing the finesse of ancient Egyptian sculpture. Traces of yellow and red paint on the face suggest the statue was once painted. A particularly interesting detail is that the statue was found in a basin in the Temple of Horus, a temple dedicated to the falcon-headed god, known for rituals related to the sky and rebirth. This raises questions about why the statue was placed there, as it dates from about 500 years after Claudius's reign. Additionally, beneath the statue, the team found a Roman stele with hieroglyphic and demotic inscriptions, which are awaiting translation. Some experts have expressed doubts about whether the statue truly represents Emperor Claudius. Eric Varner, Associate Professor of Art History at Emory University, said that from the published photos, he could not confirm whether the statue resembled Claudius. 50 mummies found in an ancient Egyptian tomb. On February 2, 2019, in the Tuna El Galeb area, located about 340 kilometers south of Cairo, archaeologists uncovered an ancient tomb containing approximately 50 mummies, including 12 children. While the identities of those buried remain unknown, experts believe this tomb belonged to an upper-class family, likely from the Ptolemaic period, which began in 305 BCE. The tomb was constructed underground, with the mummies buried at a depth of 9 meters. Each mummy was wrapped in linen, a typical practice of ancient Egyptians in the mummification process. Some of the mummies were placed in stone or wooden coffins, indicating the grandeur and meticulousness of the burial rituals. This further supports the theory that the tomb is that of an upper-class family, with significant power and wealth. One of the notable discoveries in this tomb was the skulls wrapped in linen, which made a strong impression on the archaeologists. This not only reflects the careful nature of the burial rituals, but also serves as evidence of the sophisticated mummification techniques used by ancient Egyptians. Many of the mummies are nearly intact, providing scientists with the opportunity to study the burial practices as well as the living habits of people from this era. The 9 most shocking recent archaeological discoveries that have stunned scientists. 60-year-old dog remains preserved in perfect condition. Workers cutting timber at the Georgia Craft Corp were shocked and amazed when they discovered the remains of a hunting dog's head protruding from the middle of an oak log. What was most astonishing was that the dog's body had been perfectly preserved. fossilized for nearly 60 years without any embalming techniques like those used by the Egyptians. Experts believe the hunting dog became trapped while jumping through a hole in the tree, chasing some prey around the 1960s. Because the gap was narrow and high, the dog was never able to catch its quarry, and no one noticed to help it out. Unable to escape, the dog remained stuck in the trap and died there. The big question is, how could this dog's body remain perfectly intact after decades without any preservation techniques? To answer this, anthropologist Christina Kilgrove from the University of West Florida conducted an analysis and explained that when a body dies, bacteria in the gut begin to consume it, starting the decomposition process. This is the most unpleasant part, as the microbial organisms in the gut grow, multiply, and take over the body. The body will swell, decay, and bacteria, fungi, or other animals will appear to feast on the corpse. However, the key factor here lies in the oak tree itself, the cause of the dog's death and its accidental preservation. The oak tree contained tannins, which are used to treat animal hides and prevent decomposition. Tannins are a natural desiccant, meaning they have the ability to absorb moisture and dry out the surrounding environment. Kilgrove explained that in a low-humidity environment, these tannins inadvertently prevent microbial activity, which slows down the decay process. Additionally, the position and shape of the oak tree directed airflow upwards, so scavengers never detected the dog's remains inside the tree. The dog's remains are now on display at the Southern Forest World Museum, where researchers continue to study the natural desiccant that perfectly preserved the dog's body. 900-year-old mummy princess with intact hair. Archaeologists recently discovered the mummified remains of a woman, buried in the Arctic ice and wrapped in thick animal furs. What makes this mummy particularly remarkable is that her hair and eyelashes are still perfectly intact. Through research, archaeologists have determined that this mummy is 900 years old, and her face still retains rare, distinctive features that are haunting to many. It is believed that the woman was a princess who died at the age of 35 and was buried alongside nearly 30 other men in the area. The archaeological details of this mummy are truly astonishing, especially the preservation of her eyelids, teeth, and hair. The greenish hue on her face is due to contamination from copper fragments, which were thought to protect her as she transitioned to the afterlife. Further studies have concluded that she was a member of a medieval hunting and fishing civilization. Archaeologists are puzzled as to why she was buried in this particular location, as they initially believed it was a burial site for men. One theory is that she was a prominent member of society at that time, possibly the only female in this group. However, while her head has been incredibly well preserved, her body has suffered significant damage, appearing almost completely destroyed. Additionally, archaeologists have discovered the mummies of a few children nearby, though they likely have no connection to this woman. Professor Dong-Hoon Shin from Seoul National University noted, "There are two types of mummies in the world, artificial and natural. A prime example of artificial mummification is found in Egypt. Natural mummies are buried in specific environmental and climatic conditions, such as eternal ice or deserts. Preserved to such a high degree, the internal organs of these mummies remain intact, providing many fascinating insights for research." Chad 2-meter-long dinosaur fossil. Recently, a groundbreaking archaeological discovery has caused a stir in the scientific community as archaeologists uncovered a massive 2-meter-long dinosaur fossil weighing nearly half a ton in a vineyard village in southwestern France. This is one of the most significant discoveries in modern archaeology, and French scientific experts have classified it as a national treasure. The fossilized thigh bone remains in good condition, despite being around 140 million years old, dating back to the late Jurassic period. A thorough analysis revealed that the bone weighs 400 kilograms and likely belonged to a gigantic dinosaur. This is also the largest dinosaur fossil ever discovered in France. Scientists are currently comparing this bone with another thigh bone fossil found in 2010 to determine if they belong to the same individual. However, a popular theory suggests that this is the bone of a sauropod dinosaur, a species of long-necked, massive dinosaurs that could reach heights of up to 18 meters. These dinosaurs were omnivores and appeared during the late Jurassic period, about 150 million years ago, before going extinct during the Cretaceous extinction event in the Tertiary period. This recent discovery comes from the vast paleontological region of Angoulême, near the city of North Du, where archaeologists and volunteers have uncovered thousands of fossilized bones in the early 21st century. Angoulême is not only famous for its vineyards that produce sweet-tasting wines, but also known for its thriving dinosaur ecosystem, as well as invertebrate animals and vegetation, all due to the humid subtropical climate millions of years ago. Therefore, this new fossil discovery not only affirms the significance of Angoulême, but also opens a new door in the exploration of the dinosaur world, helping us understand more about this mysterious and fascinating ancient period. Millions of bird mummies in ancient Egyptian tombs. In the ancient tombs of the Nile Valley, archaeologists have discovered millions of bird mummies, primarily of the ibis species. These birds were believed to have been sacrificed to gods with the heads of ibises, such as Horus, Ra, and Thoth. However, the origin of these birds remains a mystery. Were they wild birds caught during hunting, or were they purposefully raised, similar to cats, another animal found in Egyptian tombs for ritualistic purposes? Scientists at the French National Center for Scientific Research conducted an analysis of the mummies from the Fusion Museum in Lyon to solve this question. They collected feathers, bones, and internal organs from 20 bird mummies and analyzed their isotopic composition, including oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, and strontium. The results showed that the isotopic composition of these birds was not uniform, with notable variations, indicating that they were wild birds. This supports the theory that the ibises flew to the Nile Valley during their migratory season, rather than being raised in a controlled environment like other ritual animals. Additionally, murals in tombs, such as the tomb of Nakht in the Theban necropolis, depict scenes of ibis hunting, proving that they were hunted by the Egyptians for centuries. Furthermore, the presence of both adult birds, chicks, and eggs in the tombs strengthens the hypothesis that ibises were hunted. This contrasts with the discovery of only adult cats in tombs. According to scientists, over time, the Egyptians actively hunted ibises and other predatory birds, causing their numbers to decline significantly. Today, only limited populations of ibises remain, living in rocky deserts such as those in Syria and Morocco. The mysterious Ming Dynasty treasure. Nearly 2 decades ago, in Hubei Province, China, an incredibly strange tomb was discovered. The tomb became known as the Water Tomb due to the unusual circumstances surrounding it. What caused a stir in China was the belief that this ancient tomb concealed the treasure of a famous royal from the Ming Dynasty. In 2001, archaeologists accidentally stumbled upon this tomb. Upon finding the entrance, the excavation team encountered an incredibly rare and strange situation. Water constantly leaked from the stone door, sealing the entrance to the tomb's burial chamber. This suggested that the ancient tomb might have been submerged in water. Witnesses at the scene were stunned, as most ancient tombs were designed to prevent water infiltration and humidity. Why then did this tomb have water seeping out? Due to the tomb's unusual condition, a prolonged process of water removal was necessary, lasting 12 days. It took almost half a month for the massive amount of water inside the burial chamber to be fully drained. Once inside, the archaeologists could hardly believe their eyes. The tomb had preserved an incredible treasure, untouched for centuries. The statistics revealed that this tomb, dating from the Ming Dynasty, contained approximately 5,300 artifacts, including over 700 items inlaid with precious gemstones. Furthermore, many of the treasures in the underground vault were burial items believed to have been imported from foreign lands. The discovery of this valuable treasure made the tomb a hot topic of discussion at the time. Many believed the tomb's occupant was not just a noble, but possibly a royal family member. Some experts even suggested that the person buried there was closely related to the Ming Dynasty's royal family. So, who was the person buried with such an enormous treasure? After several days of studying the tomb's artifacts and consulting historical records, the identity of the tomb's occupant was finally revealed. As expected, the person buried in the tomb was Prince Liangzhuang, a young royal from the Ming Dynasty. Prince Liangzhuang's real name was Zhu Tianji, born in 1411 and died in 1441. He was the grandson of Emperor Chengzu Zhu Di, the 9th son of Emperor Renzong Zhu Gaoqi, and the younger brother of Emperor Xuanzong. Zhu Tianji was the first and only Prince Liang of the Ming Dynasty. Historical records describe him as a talented and scholarly man with a gentle and humble character who was dearly loved by both his father and brother. Prince Liangzhuang ruled for 17 years, dying in 1441 at the age of 30, and was buried at Mount Duling. As he had no sons, his title passed on with no heir. Therefore, the massive treasure, including gold, silver, and gems, was buried with him after his death. Prince Liangzhuang lived during the prosperous period of the Ming dynasty, when Admiral Zheng He made numerous voyages to the west, bringing back many valuable foreign treasures. This explains the presence of foreign artifacts found in his tomb. The city of Lagash in Mesopotamia. This stunning discovery belongs to a research team led by archaeologist Emily Hammer from the University of Pennsylvania. After initial remote sensing data was collected using radar, revealing a mysterious world believed to be the legendary city of Lagash in ancient Mesopotamia, the scientists decided to send a drone to survey the marshland between the Euphrates and Tigris rivers in southern Iraq. The result was the discovery of a spectacular and vast scene, where the ruins indicated the existence of the lost city. Lagash was built on a massive scale, connected by 4 main islands and nearly 30 smaller islands, with the city primarily navigated by water. Some parts of the city were excavated over 40 years ago, but thanks to aerial photographs, scientists were able to witness the unimaginable scale of ancient Lagash, now known as Tel Ahiba, a city that existed 5,000 years ago. The drone images revealed the city nestled within a unique temple complex, and even how the ancients connected the islands to form a floating city, a concept almost unimaginable to modern humans. The entire structures they discovered span an area of 300 hectares. At its peak, this ghostly island city covered an area as large as present-day Chicago. This challenges previous assumptions by researchers who believed Mesopotamian cities were only small settlements. The reality, however, reveals that during the Stone Age, this civilization had planned a highly complex and organized city. How many other civilizations may have once existed on Earth that we have yet to discover? This remains a difficult question to answer. Coffin in a tree. Around the world, different countries have unique burial practices. For example, in Mumbai, India, vultures are allowed to consume the bodies of the deceased, as the local people believe this is a charitable act that nourishes the birds, and it also serves as a ritual to release the soul from its physical form. In Ghana, the deceased are buried in coffins decorated with intricate artistic designs, with the belief that death is not the end, but a continuation of life in another place. However, sometimes archaeologists discover human remains in the most unexpected places. In 2017, while construction workers were working on a project in Zurich, Switzerland, they discovered a woman buried inside a coffin made from a tree trunk. This was an unusual find, as the woman had been laid to rest 2,200 years ago. The coffin was so well preserved that researchers were able to learn many details about her. Through analysis, they determined that she died around the age of 40 and may have been a queen, as the examination of her body revealed she didn't engage in heavy labor. Additionally, a jar of starch and some fruits found in the coffin indicated that she enjoyed eating starch and sweet fruits. She wore a copper bracelet, a necklace with 2 gold stones, and a string of blue glass beads. This was not the first burial discovered in the Zurich area. In 1903, when workers were constructing a gymnasium, they found the remains of a Celtic man buried around the same time as the woman. Archaeologists believe these 2 individuals might have had a close relationship, as the man was placed in a tree trunk with a sword, a shield, and a spear. 1,000-year-old ancient Maya temple. Archaeologists in Mexico have made an astonishing discovery by uncovering a 1,000-year-old Maya temple at El Tigre, an archaeological site located on the Yucatan Peninsula. The temple, dating from 1000 to 1200 AD, was discovered as a 2-story circular structure with a flat roof, creating a grand and mysterious image. Researchers believe this is a temple dedicated to the serpent god Kukulkan, one of the 4 most powerful deities in ancient Maya religion. Interestingly, Mexican authorities suspect this may be the temple mentioned in the records of Don Pablo Paxbolan, a Maya leader who led his people to settle in what is now Tabasco in the late 16th century. Paxbolan referred to 4 such temples in the area, each dedicated to one of the 4 main Maya gods. While the temples mentioned in Paxbolan's records have not yet been found, similar circular structures have been excavated on the Yucatan Peninsula, including in Edzna, Becan, Uxmal, and Chichen Itza. Archaeologists explain that these circular structures are usually linked to the early phase of the post-classic period, from 1000 to 1200 AD. During this period, the Maya civilization was connected with other regions of ancient Mesoamerica, particularly central Mexico, Oaxaca, and the Gulf Coast. It is known that the Yucatan Peninsula was one of the last settlements of the Maya before the civilization collapsed. To this day, the collapse of the Maya civilization remains a topic of debate among experts. The new discovery of the temple in the legend came amid Mexico's launch of the Tren Maya Railway project, a 1,600 long train route, which has expanded human knowledge in general and the understanding of El Tigre in particular for archaeologists. The 300-year-old ship filled with treasure. On December 4, 2015, an international team of experts, along with the Colombian Navy and a group of Colombian archaeologists, unexpectedly discovered the location of a mysterious ship deep beneath the ocean. Due to the technology available at the time, which was not advanced enough to directly access the ship, they decided to use an unmanned submersible to dive deep and photograph the wreck from a distance of 9 meters. They were astonished to discover a massive treasure inside the ship. After further study, experts confirmed that it was the San Jose, the legendary warship with 62 guns and 3 masts, owned by the Spanish royal family and lost long ago. More than 300 years ago, the San Jose was tasked with transporting treasure from the Americas to Europe annually, escorted by a fleet of warships on most voyages. However, in 1708, just before the ship was set to depart, the escort fleet was delayed, and the Spanish commander at the time, Admiral José Fernández de Santillán, decided to sail alone. While carrying treasure mined in Peru, including around 200 tons of gold and emeralds, worth an estimated $17 billion, the San Jose became embroiled in a bloody battle with 4 British warships. The ship was surrounded and sunk, taking over 500 crew members and its enormous treasure to the deep ocean, where it disappeared. For centuries, treasure hunters attempted to locate the San Jose, hoping to seize the enormous fortune aboard. But all efforts failed as no one could remember the exact location and the ship lay too deep underwater. In 2015, the Colombian government finally discovered the ship, but only black and white photographs were taken. It wasn't until June 6, 2022, with the aid of advanced technology, that clear videos were taken, revealing many new details about the famous San Jose ship. The footage showed that the shipwreck appeared untouched by human intervention. The bow and hull were covered with algae and shellfish, along with cannons, a large number of ceramics, glass bottles, and even valuable gold pieces partially buried in the mud. The Colombian Navy stated that they are still closely guarding the wreck for future salvage operations. Additionally, they discovered 2 other wrecks near the site, one from the colonial era and another from the post-colonial period, with estimated treasure worth billions of dollars. There are at least 12 more sunken ships in the area that are planned for search operations. However, a legal dispute over ownership has erupted since the ship was found. In 2013, Colombia passed a law declaring that sunken ships in its waters would be considered national heritage. Colombian authorities have stated that they will work to raise the wreck and the artifacts to display them in historical museums. Meanwhile, Spain claims that the San Jose and its treasures are their national property, as it was part of the Spanish Navy when it sank and is protected under UNESCO conventions. Since neither side is willing to concede, the dispute remains unresolved. The 11 most shocking archaeological discoveries in Peru. Ancient mass grave of 140 children. On March 7th, a terrifying yet incredibly important archaeological discovery was announced when Peruvian scientists revealed details about the remains of 140 children who were sacrificed about 600 years ago at the Huanchaquito Las Llamas site, located approximately 375 miles north of Lima. This is the largest mass burial ever discovered in the Americas, a discovery that raises profound questions about ancient religious rituals. In the press release, archaeologists confirmed that long cuts across the sternum and ribs of the victims indicated that both children and livestock had been disemboweled, possibly in a heart sacrifice ritual, a common practice in ancient cultures. These remains are believed to belong to boys and girls aged 5 to 14. This is not only an astounding discovery of a divine worship ritual, but also reveals the brutality of ancient ceremonies, where both children and livestock were used as sacrifices. The excavation area covers about 7,000 square feet, so archaeologists found not only the remains of children, but also about 200 llamas, a detail that suggests the scale and complexity of the ritual. This discovery, researched by an international team from 2011 to 2016, was published in the scientific journal PLOS One in March 2019. Professor John Verano, one of the researchers involved, stated that this is the first time scientists have discovered a ritual involving children as sacrifices, and this discovery will open a new chapter in the study of child sacrifice practices in the ancient world. This discovery not only reveals the mysteries of the religious beliefs of ancient civilizations, but also provides insight into the unique cultural practices of the ancients. It will continue to be an important research topic, contributing to clarifying the unique and brutal features in the rituals of ancient cultures, such as the civilization before the Inca Empire came to power. 800-year-old mummy found tied up. Recently, archaeologists discovered a mummy dating back an estimated 800 years on the central coast of Peru, near the capital city Lima. This is a highly significant find, opening a door for us to gain a better understanding of the lives of ancient people in this region. Archaeologist Peter van Dalen Luna from the National University of San Marcos noted that this mummy could be the remains of someone from a unique culture that lived between the sea and the mountains of Peru. However, the gender of the mummy has not yet been determined. What is particularly remarkable is the unusual position in which the mummy was found. The body remains were tightly bound with rope, and the person's hands were placed over their face. This could have been part of a special burial ritual from the ancient community in this area, suggesting unique customs and beliefs that we have yet to fully understand. This discovery also points to the ancient inhabitants living in the Andean highlands, a region known for its distinct climate and geography. Scientists used carbon dating to estimate the mummy's age, though further studies are needed to refine this estimate. In addition to the mummy, archaeologists also discovered numerous valuable artifacts in the burial site, including pottery, stone tools, and plant fossils, all showing signs of a diverse and advanced culture. Ancient drawings in the Peruvian desert. Over 2,000 years ago, on the arid land of the Palpa Desert in Peru, a mysterious civilization left behind incredible marks that science has yet to fully explain. This is when 25 massive drawings were recently discovered in the town of Palpa, believed to be the work of the ancient Paracas people. These drawings not only surprise with their size, but also offer a new perspective on this civilization, featuring impressive images such as a woman, a dancing monkey, mysterious numbers, and the orca whale, an iconic semi-divine figure for the Paracas. What's remarkable is that these drawings can be seen not only from the air, like the famous Nazca lines, but also clearly from the ground due to how they were carved into the hillside. Drone technology helped archaeologists discover these drawings, opening a new chapter in the study of pre-Columbian civilizations in Peru. Why have these drawings endured for so long? And why were they created on such a grand scale? These remain unanswered questions. But one thing is certain, these discoveries not only reveal the mysteries of the Paracas people, but also shed light on a part of Peru's rich and enigmatic pre-Columbian history. Will we be able to soon decode the stories hidden behind these drawings? Only time will tell. 3,800-year-old remains. In August 2024, a surprising archaeological discovery took place in the arid region of northern Peru, where researchers unearthed 4 sets of remains dating back over 3,000 years. This marks an important milestone in the journey to explore Peru's ancient cultural history, a country renowned for its legendary civilizations such as the Inca, Moche, Nazca, and Wari. The discovery site is located near a valley in the Viru province of the La Libertad region, which has previously yielded traces of other ancient cultures. Archaeologists believe this could be a temple honoring the gods of a local culture that existed thousands of years ago. The remains and burial items, found in an ancient tomb, were carefully studied and estimated to date back between 3,100 and 3,800 years. Ferran Castillo, an archaeologist at the National University of Trujillo, said, "This discovery opens the door to a better understanding of cultural development in this region." He believes that many other tombs exist in the area and that this space surely played a key role in the society of the time. Interestingly, according to Castillo, Burials near temples or shrines may reflect the deep religious beliefs of ancient people, much like how people today often wish to be buried near churches due to their sacredness. As we can see, each new discovery not only helps us understand more about the civilizations that once thrived on this land, but also unveils untold stories about the development of society, religion, technology, and art in the past. Peru, the cradle of the Inca Empire and many other ancient cultures, continues to hold an important position in decoding human history. These archaeological discoveries not only shed light on the mysteries of ancient societies, but also represent a significant part of the evolution of human civilization as a whole. 1,000-year-old teenage mummy. On April 24, 2023, Peruvian archaeologists discovered a mummy over 1,000 years old on the outskirts of Lima, unveiling a remarkable find about pre-Inca cultural history. The mummy is believed to belong to a young person and was found in an underground tomb, preserved in a mysterious burial package. Surrounding the mummy, archaeologists discovered burial items such as pottery, ropes, and even pieces of skin and hair, painting a vivid picture of the burial rituals of ancient Peruvian civilizations. According to Yomira Huaman, an archaeologist in charge of the Cajamarquilla research project, the mummy was preserved in very good condition, offering scientists the opportunity to study the ancient way of life and beliefs. Although Peru is famous for its Inca heritage, with Machu Picchu being its most iconic symbol, the country is also the birthplace of many ancient cultures, including Lima and Ichma, which thrived centuries before the Inca Empire's rise. The mummy is estimated to date back between 1,100 and 1,200 years, and is part of a significant discovery at the Cajamarquilla Archaeological site, where numerous other remains of children and adults have been found, possibly victims of sacrificial rites. Interestingly, this mummy was found about 650 feet from the location where the first mummy was discovered at Cajamarquilla, indicating that this area was an important burial site in ancient times. Cajamarquilla, with its expansive complex and unique ruins, features 4 pyramids and mud brick structures and was once one of Peru's major cities. Considered the second largest mud brick city after Chan Chan, Cajamarquilla is located about 12 miles from Lima and is believed to have been a thriving trade center where residents from coastal regions and the Andean highlands gathered. This discovery not only enriches our knowledge of Peru's ancient civilizations, but also broadens our understanding of the development of society and beliefs of those who lived more than a millennium ago. Each layer unearthed tells a new story, a piece of untold history that allows us to gain new insights into the enigmatic past of pre-Inca cultures while also deepening our understanding of humanity's evolution through the ages. Ancient Tomb of the Inca Civilization. On February 16th, Peruvian archaeologists caused a stir in the research community when they discovered a tomb from the Inca civilization at the Mata Indio archaeological site, located in the Lambayeque region in the northern part of the country. This is not only a historic discovery, but also a precious testament to the grandeur and culture of the Inca Empire. According to expert Luis Chero, this tomb may belong to an Inca noble, as it contains special artifacts such as the spondylus, a type of seashell buried with important figures in Inca culture. The tomb features unique architecture, with niches designed to hold statues of revered figures from the Inca world. Interestingly, results from examinations revealed that the tomb had been looted multiple times, likely by treasure hunters. However, despite the external impacts, many of the artifacts within the tomb, including finely crafted vases, have been restored and will soon be displayed, helping us better understand the art and beliefs of this civilization. The Mata Indio archaeological site, located 620 miles north of Lima and about 1,240 miles from Cusco, the former capital of the Inca Empire, has long been considered an important location for exploring Inca culture. The discovery of this tomb further affirms the significance of this area in history. It stands as a vivid testament to the grandeur of the Inca dynasties, who built a powerful empire with monumental works, including a vast road system stretching 24,850 miles and suspension bridges made of grass up to 230 feet long, connecting remote regions. Therefore, this discovery not only sheds more light on the mysteries of Inca religion and customs, but also plays an important role in recreating a glorious period of ancient civilization, helping to decode the marvels they left for the modern world. 3,000-year-old tomb on the northern Peru highlands. A recent archaeological discovery has excited the research community as Peruvian archaeologists unearthed an ancient tomb in the northern part of the country, possibly the resting place of a religious leader dating back around 3,000 years. This tomb, called the Priest of the Pacoampati region, is located in a remote highland area, offering new insights into the ancient cultures of Peru. According to information from Peru's Ministry of Culture, the body in the tomb was buried under 6 layers of ash mixed with dark soil, a burial method deeply tied to ritual practices. Surrounding the remains, archaeologists found several noteworthy artifacts, such as intricately decorated ceramic bowls and ritual seals, clearly indicating that the person buried here held a high status in society at the time. Notably, within the tomb, 2 seals were found, one depicting a human face facing east and the other showing a jaguar facing west, symbolizing religious beliefs and symbols revered by ancient peoples. The tomb, with a diameter of nearly 6.5 feet and a depth of about 3.3 feet, makes a strong impression. Especially intriguing is the fact that the body was buried face down, with the feet crossed, showing a distinct difference in burial practices compared to other ancient cultures. Even more fascinating is the discovery of a tupu, a distinctive pin used by the indigenous people of the Andes to fasten cloaks on the remains. However, this tupu was typically worn by women, adding to the mystery of the tomb. Yuji Seki, the lead archaeologist for the project, noted that while this is a male tomb, the accompanying artifacts are quite unusual, suggesting that the individual may have been a religious leader or an important figure in ancient society. Additionally, subsequent tests suggest that the tomb may have been sealed around 1200 BCE, offering new insights into the ancient cultures of the Andean highlands. Therefore, the story of the priest of Pacoampati will continue to be explored, unraveling secrets that were once hidden in the past. 1,000-year-old sacrificial dog remains still intact. Specifically, archaeologists unearthed an ancient tomb containing both human remains and the remains of about 10 dogs, buried approximately 1,000 years ago. What makes this discovery particularly noteworthy is that the dogs were not only buried with humans, but their legs were tightly bound together and there were cords around their necks. This has led scientists to suspect that these dogs may have been sacrificed in a religious ritual, performed by the Ixma culture. The excavation, which took place over the course of a year from 2012 to 2013, yielded an astonishing discovery: a total of 134 human skeletons and over 138 dog bones, all dating back approximately 1,000 years. This is clear evidence that the Ixma people, from around 900 to 1470 AD, had a special ritual involving the sacrifice of dogs in burial ceremonies. What makes this even more fascinating is that in this ancient culture, Peruvians did not have the custom of burying dogs alongside humans. Instead, the dogs were buried near humans, not in separate dog cemeteries. Researchers believe that these dogs may have been strangled and sacrificed as part of a religious ritual, meant to help the soul of the deceased ascend to heaven. According to Lucinita Carrion, the lead researcher, the animals were tightly bound to stones and had cords around their necks, indicating that they were likely sacrificed for a specific spiritual purpose. While the exact purpose of the ritual remains a mystery, the hypothesis that these animals served as guides for the deceased in the afterlife is one of the most convincing explanations. This discovery not only illuminates the ancient practices of the Ixma culture, but also expands our understanding of the relationship between humans and animals in ancient civilizations. 3,000-year-old megalithic temple. Worshipping water deity. Archaeologists recently announced the discovery of a 3,000-year-old megalithic temple in Peru, believed to be the remains of an ancient water cult used for fertility rituals. Specifically, the temple was found at the Huaca El Toro archaeological site, located in present-day Oyotun in the Zanja Valley of northwestern Peru. This is the first megalithic temple, made from large stones, to be discovered in the valley, which lies between 2 rivers that converge to form the Zanja River. Archaeologist Edgar Bracamonte explained that this ancient cult, which worshipped water, likely chose to build the temple in an area where a new river emerged, symbolizing territorial power. Water was the most essential resource for life, and during this time, it was very difficult to access without special technology. The temple's location between the rivers and the presence of small wells used by ancient people to predict the rainy season highlights the importance of water to the people during the formation period. The temple was constructed using various sizes of carved stones, which were transported from a nearby mountain about 1.9 miles away. It is believed that the temple was abandoned around 250 BCE, then later repurposed as a burial site by the Chumi people around 1300 CE, who re-established the site. Additionally, the research team discovered 21 graves in the temple, 20 belonging to the Chumi people and 1 belonging to an adult male buried during the formation period. During that time, the bodies were oriented from east to west. This adult male was buried with a ceramic bottle featuring 2 spouts and a handle. Excavations also revealed that the temple was occupied in 3 phases. The first between 1500 to 1800 BCE, when residents built the foundation from cone-shaped clay. The second between 800 to 400 BCE, when the megalithic temple was constructed under the influence of the pre-Inca Chavan civilization. And the third between 400 to 100 BCE, when additional round columns were added to support the temple's roof. The excavations, which took place between September and November, have been followed by ongoing analysis in the laboratory, with researchers hoping to unlock new insights into the religious beliefs and customs of ancient cultures in Peru. On 300-year-old throne room of the powerful Moche Queen. In October 2024, archaeologists in Peru made an extraordinary discovery of a 300-year-old throne room adorned with murals depicting a Moche Queen, although the queen's remains have yet to be found. The throne room, discovered at the Pañamarca archaeological site, dates back to the 7th century AD during the height of the Moche civilization in the region. The Moche thrived in northern Peru from 350 to 850 AD and were renowned for building complex structures and tombs, as well as creating intricate artworks, such as pottery depicting human faces. They lived in the region before writing was introduced in Peru. While there were many female rulers during the pre-Inca period in Peru, a throne room dedicated to a queen has never been found at Pañamarca or anywhere else in ancient Peru. The throne, made of clay, contains greenstone beads and remnants of human hair. Scientists suggest that the hair may belong to the queen, and researchers plan to conduct DNA testing. The murals, which depict the ruler, were found on columns and walls in the throne room, and even on the throne itself. They portray the queen in various ways. One mural shows her wearing a crown and raising a cup. Another depicts her holding a scepter, while a group of men brings textiles and other items to her. Yet another mural shows her sitting on the throne and conversing with an individual with the appearance of a half-human, half-bird creature. In Moche culture, it was not uncommon for women to become rulers. Researcher Koons noted that female leaders were not rare in ancient Moche society or in later northern Peruvian dynasties. She added that much of the evidence of female rulers comes from tombs, including that of Señora de Cao, a Moche woman buried with jewelry, decorative items, and sophisticated weapons, along with tools designed to throw spears and darts. 9-million-year-old fossil of ancestor to great white shark. On January 20th, 2025, paleontologists in Peru announced the discovery of a 9-million-year-old fossil of a shark related to the modern great white shark. This species once lived in the southern Pacific Ocean and primarily fed on sardines. The nearly complete fossil of Cosmopolitotus hastalis was found in the Pisco Basin, located about 146 miles south of the capital, Lima. This arid desert region is well known for frequent discoveries of ancient marine life. The shark is believed to be an ancestor of today's great white shark. Although it is now extinct, its teeth once reached lengths of up to 3.5 inches, and the adult shark could grow to nearly 23 feet long, roughly the size of a small boat. Cesar Augusto Chacaltana, an engineer at Peru's Geological and Mining Institute, stated at the unveiling that the fossil of this shark was exceptionally well preserved. During the event, researchers displayed the ancient shark remains in glass cases, including a large jaw with sharp teeth. This new discovery of Cosmopolitotus hastalis not only provides deeper insight into the ancestors of the great white shark, but also sheds more light on the ancient marine ecosystem of the southern Pacific Ocean, a truly fascinating find. The mummy of a monk, discovered 100 years ago, mysteriously comes back to life, terrifying scientists. For many years, archaeologists around the world have uncovered countless human bodies that have been preserved for long periods, ranging from hundreds to thousands of years, across various continents. Among these, some mummies have garnered attention due to their uniqueness and strangeness, to the point that they are hard to believe. One such mummy is that of a monk named Lama Dashi Dorjo Itagilov. Lama Dashi Dorjo Itagilov is known for his many contributions to Tibetan Buddhist culture. In 1927, he reached nirvana with a single message left for future generations: to bury him as he was found. That year, Russia was in chaos due to civil war, and Lama Dashi gathered his disciples at the monastery to offer guidance in the difficult, turbulent times. After speaking, he passed away in a meditative posture. Before his last breath, he said, "Come back in 30 years to visit my mortal remains." In 1957, exactly 30 years later, some monasteries, including the one in Ivolginsky, were renovated. A few monks remembered their teacher's words and went to the Kuke-Zurken cemetery for a reburial ceremony. What they discovered was truly astonishing. Lama Dashi's body was found seated in a meditative position, perfectly preserved. By September 2002, 75 years after Lama Dashi's death, scientists and pathologists exhumed his body for examination. Once again, the mummy shocked witnesses, including many scientists, 2 forensic experts, and a photographer, due to its unbelievable preservation. The body, skin, joints, and muscles were still soft, as if the person had died only 3 days ago. The blood in the veins had even turned to a thick, semi-liquid form instead of drying up. Since then, many researchers have tried to explain this extraordinary phenomenon. Scientists have proposed various theories, such as the salt in the coffin or the unique composition of the soil around the tomb slowing the decomposition process, or that Itigilov's body might carry a special gene with similar effects. Others speculate that a perfect embalming technique, unknown to modern humanity, could be responsible. However, all these are just hypotheses, and the mystery surrounding Lama Dashi Itigilov's preserved body remains unsolved. Interestingly, in 2016, 20 years after the 2002 exhumation, a new piece of evidence surfaced that caused another wave of excitement. It suggested that Lama Dashi Dorjo had somehow come back to life and was walking around his palace in the Ivolginsky Monastery, located 14 miles from Ulan-Ude, the capital of the Republic of Buryatia in Siberia. According to reports, on the evening of October 10th and 11th, 2016, surveillance cameras recorded the strange figure of a person moving within the monastery. At times the figure was near the throne, and at other times, near a sofa. Lama Damba Ayushiv, president of the Traditional Sangha Buddhist Association, was the one who released the photos. He affirmed, "This is not a joke, but the truth. I see a person in the photo who I know wasn't in the Kambo Lama Itagilov hall at that time. He is standing near the front door." However, the photos Ayushiv released were unclear, and he did not share any video footage from the cameras. As a result, many found the story hard to believe and far-fetched. The images soon went viral on Facebook, with some people convinced that Lama Dashi Dorjo had truly come back to life, while others speculated that the image was of a security guard wearing camouflage and carrying a nylon bag. What do you think about this event? Do you believe it's true? Surely many of you will find such a far-fetched story unbelievable. But this is just one of many mysterious stories discovered and shared by archaeologists and scientists worldwide. The 1,000-year-old Buddha statue, containing the mummified monk who died in meditation. In the world of Buddhism, there are stories that transcend mystery and legend. Besides the story of the monk Lama Dashi Dorjo, another tale about a Chinese Buddhist master who is believed to have mummified himself while meditating has sparked curiosity and controversy. The story begins with an ancient Buddha statue, a piece of art that is over 1,000 years old. Scientists scanned this statue with a machine and uncovered a shocking truth. They discovered the bones of a man in a meditative position, seated in the lotus posture. Upon analysis, the scientists identified the skeleton as that of the meditation master Zhanggang Liuquan, a figure from the Chinese Chan Zen tradition, who is believed to have died around the year 1100 AD. Zhanggang Liuquan is said to have performed a self-mummification ritual while in meditation, a practice followed by only a few monks in Buddhism. The purpose of this ritual is to transform into a living Buddha, an advanced meditative state through which monks achieve complete purification. During this process, the monk follows an extremely strict diet designed to eliminate all fat from the body. In the first 1,000 days, they only eat seeds and berries. The diet then shifts to tree bark and roots, and finally, they drink a toxic tea made from urushi tree resin. This poison not only weakens the monk's body, but also serves as a preservative, preventing decomposition after death. For 6 years after their death, the monk is placed in a small stone tomb with an air tube and a bell. They are positioned in the lotus posture and are meant to meditate until death. The guard knows they have passed away when the bell stops ringing. The tomb is then sealed for the mummification process before they are transformed into a Buddha. The story of Zhenggong Luquan is striking not only because of the bizarre self-mummification ritual, but also due to the artifacts found inside the statue in 2015. Instead of organs, scientists found decaying materials and a scroll depicting ancient Chinese figures. This discovery was groundbreaking but also highly controversial, as the statue was believed to have been stolen from China by a Dutch antique collector over 20 years ago. This incident has led to strained relations between the two countries, and there is still no agreement on returning the statue. Many Buddhists believe that such mummies are not dead bodies, but rather souls in a state of advanced meditation. However, recent studies suggest that the monk died at the age of 37, and his body showed signs of illness or the effects of prolonged fasting. This has led some to question whether he truly performed the self-mummification ritual himself, or if someone else might have intervened during the process. Regardless of the circumstances, the story of Zhenggong Luquan remains a testament to the devotion, patience, and unwavering faith of Buddhist masters who are willing to sacrifice their entire lives and bodies for the path of spiritual practice, even if that path leads them to death and immortality. 8,000-year-old mummy, found in a strange position. People are generally familiar with the image of ancient mummies from Egypt, a place famous for its pharaohs and sophisticated embalming rituals. However, a groundbreaking archaeological discovery in 2022 completely shattered that notion. According to an article published on Live Science, researchers found the oldest mummies not in Egypt, nor in Chile as many had believed, but in Europe, in a remote area of southern Portugal. This discovery came from excavations dating back to the 1960s in the Sado Valley, where archaeologists unearthed over a dozen ancient human skeletons. Notably, scientists observed that at least one of these bodies showed clear signs of mummification. This was no simple procedure. The mummification was performed to preserve the body and make it easier to transport before burial. Archaeologists believe that the skeletons were bound and dried over fire for several weeks to make the body lighter and more portable. During the study of these bones, scientists made a surprising revelation. The bodies showed no signs of soft tissue decomposition, indicating that they had been carefully embalmed. In fact, some of the skeletons showed signs of hyperflexibility, meaning the arms and legs had been moved beyond their natural limits, suggesting that the body had been tightly bound after death. The foot bones, which usually detach during decomposition, remained intact, a clear sign that the bodies had not gone through natural decomposition. These findings are especially significant because they not only reveal the existence of a civilization that practiced mummification over 8,000 years ago, but they also completely change our understanding of the history of mummification. Previously, it was believed that sophisticated mummification techniques only appeared in ancient cultures such as Egypt or in the Atacama Desert region of Chile. However, the findings in Portugal demonstrate that this practice was not limited to arid regions, but existed in Europe much earlier. This story forces us to reconsider the evolution of ancient civilizations. The mummification process was not just a religious ritual, but also a testament to the intelligence and creativity of our ancestors, who figured out how to preserve the bodies of the deceased against the ravages of time. What do you think if I say these discoveries highlight the importance of archaeological research, helping us to understand more deeply the past and the mysteries of ancient civilizations? On 500-year-old mummy, travels through time with Adidas sneakers. In April 2016, a groundbreaking archaeological discovery grabbed the attention not only of scientists, but also of the global online community. Archaeologists in Mongolia released photos of a 500-year-old mummy found in the Altai Mountains, a remote and inaccessible region. However, what made these photos so extraordinary was a strange detail. The sneakers the mummy was wearing bore an uncanny resemblance to modern Adidas sneakers, specifically the famous Gazelle model. Immediately, these photos went viral on social media. One Facebook user humorously commented, "It must be a legendary pair of Adidas gazelles. I have a few pairs myself, but I've never worn them for that long." On Twitter, a flurry of posts such as "Mummy travels through time" and "Definitely a time traveler with stylish shoes" quickly spread, creating an unprecedented sensation. People were curious and puzzled about how a modern sneaker design could have existed 1,500 years ago. However, archaeologists quickly clarified that this was simply a coincidence in design. The mummy was found at an altitude of over 9,186 feet in a 10 feet deep grave, believed to be from a person of Turkic culture. This is the most complete Turkic tomb ever discovered in Central Asia. Experts speculate that the mummy could be female, as no bows and arrows, common in male graves, were found. Alongside the mummy, archaeologists uncovered a number of significant burial items, including bridles, saddles, porcelain vessels, wooden bowls, iron pots, pillows, leather bags, and even the preserved body of a horse. Remarkably, the clothing found in the tomb was made not only from cotton and sheep wool, but also from camel hair, indicating the development of craftsmanship and a deep understanding of natural resources by the Turkic people. Scientists at the Cove Museum, where the mummy is currently being preserved, stated that studying the mummy and its burial goods would provide important insights into the life of the Turkic people in Central Asia thousands of years ago. This discovery not only sheds light on the ancient culture, but also makes us ponder the strange coincidences in history. Could the Adidas-like sneakers be a bizarre prediction from the past, or is it simply a random coincidence in design? This question remains unanswered. Regardless, the discovery has provided us with fascinating information about the life and culture of the ancient Turkic people. 4,500-year-old female mummy in Peru. In a recent excavation in northern Peru, archaeologists discovered a remarkable mummy believed to be that of a woman approximately 4,500 years old. This woman is thought to have been around 40 to 50 years old at the time of her death and was buried at a special location in Aspero, a prehistoric fishing town that was part of the Corral civilization, the oldest city in South America. This discovery is significant, as finding a tomb with signs of nobility for a woman from that era is extremely rare. Moreover, the archaeologists also uncovered many valuable items buried with the woman, all indicating that she was not only an important individual, but also a person of influence in her community. Inside the tomb, the researchers found 4 bone fragments etched with depictions of birds and monkeys, symbols of a connection with nature and the sacred world. Additionally, there was a jar containing plant remnants and seeds, possibly related to daily life or ritual offerings. A necklace adorned with beads and a pendant made from spondylus, a rare shell, were also found in the tomb, highlighting the importance of jewelry in signifying social status. What is particularly noteworthy is that these discoveries go beyond personal items and open up a story of cultural exchange and trade. According to Ruth Shady, director of the Corral Archaeological Site, the items found originated from various places, demonstrating a trade connection between Aspero and the city of Corral. This is a clear sign of the development of the Corral civilization, even before the Incas emerged. Another interesting finding was the discovery of bone flutes, placed at a ceremonial site, indicating that music played an important role in the spiritual and ritual life of the people of Aspero. These flutes may have been an essential part of sacrificial ceremonies, perhaps used in rituals honoring deities or ancestors. While the exact cause of the woman's death remains unknown, the burial of her with valuable items and signs of high respect suggests she was far from an ordinary person. The Eyed Girl, the world's most famous mummy. On May 12, 1897, 2 workers dredging peat from the Stuyvesant Bog near the village of Ede, Netherlands, uncovered a deformed, incomplete body that was blackened with red hair. According to officials at the time, the girl was likely murdered due to a noose around her neck and a stab wound near her collarbone. It took a century for scientists to investigate and determine that this was the body of a 16-year-old girl, only about 3 feet 3 inches tall, who died sometime between 54 BC and 128 AD. Today, the mummy is known as the Eyed Girl and has been preserved for over 2,000 years. The history of this mummy puzzled scientists at the time. When officials from Eid and the Drents Museum of Art History received the body on May 21, 1897, its identity remained a mystery. The noose around her neck and her disfigured limbs suggested she had been brutally murdered. Additionally, half of her hair had been cut off and her teeth were missing. There was no way to determine the eyed girl's age until the 1940s when the radiocarbon dating method was introduced. It wasn't until 1992 that Professor Richard Neve from the University of Manchester performed a CT scan on her skull and confirmed that she was a 16-year-old female, as she had no wisdom teeth. It was also determined that she suffered from scoliosis, which weakened her body, and her right foot had abnormal swelling, leading to a limp. Radiocarbon dating showed that the young girl died in the early Common Era, and the tannic acid in the bog had preserved her body since then. In 1994, when experts recreated the eyed girl's appearance, she became famous worldwide. The reason for her murder is still uncertain, but Dr. Roy Van Beek from Wageningen University proposed some theories. Two hypotheses have been put forward. The first is that the bodies dumped in the bog could belong to those who violated rules or were convicted of something. The second, more widely accepted explanation is that it was a sacrifice to a higher power. So, what is the truth? How did the eyed girl die? In 2019, using landscape and topography research as a foundation, Dr. Van Beek and colleagues determined that her death might have been related to personal issues. Dr. Van Beek explained, "The girl may have come from a nearby settlement on the slope of Eyed Hill. However, her body was left in a small, relatively shallow bog about a kilometer away." Officials from the Drents Museum stated that her hair had been cut off by villagers in the 19th century. Moreover, it was common in the Middle Ages for women to have their hair cut off for adultery. However, no further evidence of a husband or indications that she had disabilities or deformities have been found. Some suggest that the young girl was a prime candidate for a child sacrifice, with hopes of agricultural prosperity during that period. But all of this remains speculative. To this day, the circumstances of the eyed girl's death remain a mystery. Currently, the mummy is kept and preserved at the Drents Museum in Assen, Netherlands. If you have the chance, you can visit to see it. Ancient tomb, containing 9 monster skulls surrounding a mummy. In a recent excavation at the Theban necropolis, located on the west bank of the Nile River in Egypt, archaeologists made a shocking discovery when they uncovered 9 crocodile skulls in 2 tombs of high-ranking nobles. This discovery was made by a team of archaeologists from the Mediterranean Archaeological Center at the University of Warsaw, led by Dr. Patrick Chujik. What makes this discovery even more remarkable is that it is the first time researchers have encountered this type of find in the history of Egyptian archaeology. The excavation area belongs to the famous Theban necropolis, a burial site for important figures during the New Kingdom period of ancient Egypt, which spanned from the 16th century BC to the 11th century BC. The crocodile skulls were found in the El Asasif cemetery, where nobles and high-ranking officials were buried. Notably, these skulls were not from complete crocodile mummies, but only the heads, wrapped in linen, which is completely different from the typical crocodile mummies that are buried in separate tombs for sacred animals. Dr. Chudzik stated, "This is the first discovery of its kind in the history of archaeological research in Egypt. We have come across many crocodile mummies found along the Nile River, but this is something very different. These skulls were buried in human tombs, not sacred animal tombs, making the discovery even more intriguing and mysterious." The Nile crocodile, a species native to the Nile River region, was revered by ancient Egyptians and considered a symbol of strength and agility. In Egyptian mythology, the crocodile was associated with the god Sobek, who was depicted with a crocodile head and was believed to offer protection and good fortune to those who worshipped him. Archaeologists believe that placing the crocodile heads inside noble tombs may have been a gesture of respect for high-ranking officials, serving as symbolic gifts to provide protection and blessings for their souls in the afterlife. Furthermore, the discovery of these tombs opens up an interesting discussion about the role of animal mummies in the rituals of ancient Egyptians. In addition to their role in sacrifice, they held profound symbolic meaning for the elite, especially in the context of the god Sobek Ra, a deity representing supreme power. In addition to the crocodile skulls, the excavation area also revealed tombs of high-ranking officials, including one notable official who lived during the reign of King Nebhapitra Mentuhotep II, who unified Egypt after the First Intermediate Period. This tomb, along with others in the Theban necropolis, helps researchers better understand how ancient Egyptian society organized and honored its high-ranking officials, as well as the relationship between them and sacred symbols like the god Sobek. This discovery will surely continue to capture the attention of archaeologists and those passionate about ancient Egyptian history. It not only sheds light on animal worship rituals in Egyptian culture, but also raises many questions about the beliefs and sacred symbols associated with ancient nobility, enriching the historical and religious narrative of this powerful civilization. Dear friends, and so the mystery of the ancient tomb containing 9 monster skulls surrounding a mummy has now concluded our exploration for today. Which discovery impressed you the most? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to give the channel a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. For now, goodbye and see you next time.